So this is a presentation on kind of creating high performance around youth programming and what kind of the needs are, the global scope and the high features. So wherever one is and lives, gives them an understanding of what are the common things that they need to look for to have a good off-season training program, and it'll even blend into your in-season training program. And there's certain kind of core fundamentals that you need to have through the through your system, and if you kind of can follow these simple guidelines, that lays a great foundation for training that kind of prepares you for all the on-so stuff to take full advantage of that. So Corey gave this presentation, gosh, it was the end of the season, kind of a wrap-up where people came through and did some exercises and stuff. I won't be able to show you those exercises per se here, but we'll be able to talk about it. So if you have somebody local that you're using, you're more informed to ask questions and make decisions on who you want to train with, or even just training on your own. And then as Tanya mentioned, we'll go through a kind of a cool free software you can download onto any smartphone and take it to the gym with you, and it's got video and explanations on how to do the exercises, tracking, and so forth. So we'll go ahead and get started. So Athletes Performance is a company that I work for, and we're a company that we train professional elite athletes. It's what we do. And so kind of what I'm going to present you today is the systems that we use with those athletes that, even though they're professionals or have that title, apply to everybody down to just a general person who wants to achieve some goals. So our mission statement is to provide the finest systems, specialists, and facilities seamlessly integrated to efficiently and ethically enhance the athlete's performance. This is just a little background. I'll rip through this on just who we are to give you a better sense of the quality of the information that you're going to get and where it comes from. So, and we do have 5 facilities around the country, and so with Northstar, if anyone's ever interested in going to train at any one of those facilities, just let me know through the ski team, and we can organize that for you. They're kind of, you got to go for minimum 1 week, but it's almost like an education on how to train and treat your body appropriately to achieve your physical and mental goals. So these are just some of the facilities. One's missing. We just opened a new one in San Diego. So there's one in Arizona, Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Diego, Gulf Breeze, Florida, and Texas. So this relates to soccer, but it's the same thing. If you just put skiing in here, it would be the same thing. And so performance in skiing. And essentially, you have these different gears, and all the gears got to be working to achieve your performance in your sport. So there's competition, there's the technical and tactical, which you do on the hill every day. There's the environment and the weather and what you have to deal with there. And then there's these kind of core fundamentals that you want to try and live by that will get you what you need to set the platform to get the best results possible. And then there's pieces around your performance, these training components within your training that you want to hit to make sure you're kind of hitting all the pieces to improve your performance. And in the core fundamentals, the big ones are these 4, which is mindset, movement, nutrition, and recovery. Obviously, what we're doing today is education. We use a mantra of motivation through education. So when you're educated about something, it's easier to make the best choices for it. And then the evaluation is, this is what you should always be doing as an athlete or anything in your life, is evaluating kind of where you're at, where you want to go as it relates to goal setting and making a plan to get there. On the performance side, we have these different training components. The first one is this prehab, and this is improving just your ability to move well. And as young people growing, we go through these growth spurts, and that changes our body's perception on how we move. So it's important to always have a good movement so your body can move appropriately and you can maximize its potential. Then there's movement skills, and this is a lot around coordination. Even though it's a lot of running multi-directional stuff, the positions that you do there are similar to kind of ski positions. Then there's power, which is the fundamental to any, or really the fundamental to skiing. There was a study that was done with the U.S. ski team, and the most powerful athletes get the most medals. And so guys like Darren Ralph, Ted Ligety, the guys winning the medals on the World Cup are tested out as the most powerful guys on the ski team. And the fundamental to that power is having baseline strength. So if you're buck strong, then you have the best platform to translate that into power, which is just moving that weight or that strength in a fast way. Energy system development is essentially cardiovascular, so that's your energy systems is what supplies energy to your muscles. So you need a good energy system to, get that food, nutrition, what you're putting into your body back to your muscles for replenishment in your performance, as well as recovery from exercises. Recovery is very important. This is kind of like tuning your skis. So, you have nicely tuned skis, then you go ski on them, and then before you go to bed that day, you kind of want to prep and retune your skis for the next day. And so that way they're ready to go, so all you got to do is put them on and get going again. And it's just like prepping your skis is regeneration for your body. If you prep your body after you're done skiing or training, and you prep your body before you ski or train, then the performance you get out of that training is going to be 100% maximized. And then the rehab, that's just in case there's any injuries you may have around performance training, because a lot of athletes, unfortunately, train in some kind of pain, which shouldn't be the case. You can be training hard and be pain-free. And then nutrition, it's the fuel that fuels your body. Kind of what you put into your body is what you're going to get out to your body. So if you don't put good things in, you're not going to get good things out. And that's kind of a good, clean, simple way to look at how you want to start setting up your system. And that's how we're going to start looking at this. And when you go into a local gym or work with a local trainer, kind of helps you get a formula for what you should expect in your training. So this is just an injury reduction case study, and the reason this is in here is it's really about the functional movement screen and a preliminary movement screen on just the quality of how you move. Because when you train, you should be improving how you move, not making how you move worse. So if lifting weights is making you stiff, if lifting weights is making you slow, then that's not the outcome we're looking for. You should be able to maintain all that good stuff and move forward and train and have your mobility and keep injury-free in the process. So if you're working with anybody, hopefully they have some kind of a screening process they take you through to get a baseline evaluation of where you're at. And so that's a key piece. The functional movement screen is just one we use that we're familiar with, and that we're looking at possibly implementing when we test kids for next season. And this is just an injury study, and when you do this, the reduce of those, or the reduction of the injuries is phenomenal with putting a little bit of injury prevention programming into your weight training and performance program. Because at the end of the day, high performance does not equal high durability. So you could have this race car with the biggest engine, but if you have a flat tire, you're not gonna be able to perform. So you want to have that combination of performance and durability, the ability to move well, recover well, to give you the best opportunities to perform well. So when we look at this training system, we set this foundation. We talked about mindset, nutrition, movement, and recovery. So these are kind of the 4 core fundamentals that we follow, and then we execute around those fundamentals to make sure everything is working well. So if you just think, hey, what's my mindset? We talked about this with the sports psychologist that the foundation brought in, and the mindset is a huge piece of the puzzle. The nutrition, like I said, what you put in is what you get out, and so that is massive. Movement, training properly, having that fundamental movement ability is on top of the strength with the power to get you what you need, and then the recovery, the tuning of the skis after you're done training so they're ready to go the next day. And so this is how typically the pyramid is looked at and how we see things, where the technical and tactical part of the sport takes all the energy. And so this is your being on the hill the 6-7 hours a day. And then there's a little bit of physical training under that, and then these core fundamentals under that, because we're eating soda and M&Ms and all this junk that they serve. at the ski lodge. And as you can see, this is an inverted pyramid, which is very tippy. And so the less you do these core fundamentals, then the tippier this pyramid gets. And if this pyramid tips, then the risk of injury goes up. And so we want to invert that pyramid to where the core fundamentals are on the bottom of this mindset, nutrition, movement, recovery that you're living on a daily basis. And then on top of that is your physical training to prepare your body to execute on the demands that the coaches are asking you to have out on the hill, so you can maximize that effort. You don't want to ski yourself into shape. You want to be in shape to ski and train and to perform at your best. So kind of looking at what is your perfect day, and that's how we always want to look at, like, what do we need to do to make that perfect day? And now you're not always going to have a perfect day, and that's okay, but if you can know and define what that perfect day is, then you can work towards coming up with strategies to become to have that perfect day. So, Raven, I did see your question here. I'll get to that in a minute. So what are your perfect day rituals in the off-season, in the preseason, in the ski season, when you're home, when you're away, when you're at ski meets, whatever the case may be, is you want to kind of go through the exercise of writing all those out so you know what time do I eat breakfast, what time do I leave for the hill, what time do I get on my equipment, what do I do before my training, any kind of prep work, what do I do with my training, after training, what am I eating, and then what am I doing for recovery, what time am I going to bed, because that choice of when you go to bed will then have an impact on how you wake up the next morning and start to execute on your next perfect day ritual. So that's a really important thing, and as we go through this, I'll give you some just basic ideas to help implement those perfect day situations. So you kind of want to think about every day as race day. And what am I going to do? Treat every day like it's a race day, like it's a competition, like it's where you got to perform at your best. So the first one is prepare for it. This is the mental aspect of it. And when we think about it, you know, on this hill, we kind of think ski racing is just the training on the hill, and that's really only about 10%. That's the conscious, because it's the skill of the sport. That's what we need to be doing, where really it's what's underneath that really has the impact on what we're doing, all these pieces. And that's that mindset that the sports psychologist was talking about. So on an average, a highly dedicated, motivated athlete believes the training starts when they walk on the field for practice. And that's probably the farthest thing from the truth. It really starts that morning, like we talked about. And so that daily preparation. Skiing is a little different, but if you look at a general practice, if it was 2 hours, there's 22 hours left in the day. What are you doing for that other 22 hours to help impact what you're going to do for your training? So is it that sleep, getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep, the eating, the recovery, the extra training, stretching, so forth? And as you add that up, that adds up to a ton of hours that you could be working towards improving what is happening on the snow that day. And so that's just it's a big piece that it's not, you know, the on-snow stuff is just a small part of what it really takes to be successful in sports, and making sure you're kind of doing all the right things around that when you're not on the snow as well. And so as we talk about, every day is race day, and you have to fuel for it. So what are you doing nutritionally? And this was a survey we did with youth athletes, and this is where they get a lot of their information. So 81% of the athletes had never experienced nutrition talk with their team before. So where are you getting that nutrition information? And as we talked about the motivation through education, it's where you're learning that stuff is what's helping you make the choices. So, you know, getting to sit with your parents, or the parents sitting down and getting involved with that nutrition, because your nutrition influences your kids' nutrition. So 92.8% of the players have never met with a nutrition or dietitian to set up a fueling strategy. And, you know, we're just kind of going off stuff that's maybe mentioned on the internet, and really just sitting down and getting a game plan together where you can get that stuff in front of you is helpful. 68% of the players have never had nutrition education in school. So I'm not in school, high school, so I'm not exactly sure what they're teaching these days, health ed and nutrition in your body. but it's obviously an important part of the piece. So players get the majority of their nutrition information from parents and from coaches. So super key that both those groups are well informed and can give constructive criticism to an athlete's input on what they're putting into their body. What they also found, the top 3 barriers to healthy eating is cravings. So if you don't have a good plan, then you make cravings, or you get cravings to just go eat something, and then it's typically a bad choice that you're putting in there because you just look for something that's quick, easy, something you can rip open and put in your mouth, which is usually M&M's, chocolate bar, all these different things, where if you planned a little bit ahead, then you could have yourself laid out a good nutrition plan. Balancing school and life, and again with the skiing side, everyone's driving up to the mountain, long road trips, so forth, but it's just having a game plan to know what you're doing ahead of time so that you have a little cooler of food and you know when you're going to have your meals and what you're doing. And then laziness is the last thing. So it takes some effort, and if you're not willing to put in the effort, then you know, it might be one thing to reconsider on your goals to work at a high level.
What's the 111 for? The N equals 111 for the female?
So that's just how many females were in the study.
Oh, okay.
So simple choices. So this is just an easy way to think about something. Eat clean, eat often, but eating often doesn't mean eat a lot. So if you eat smaller portions often, then you sustain good energy. It's not eating a lot often. Otherwise, it's, you know, calories in, calories out. And if you're taking in too many calories than what you're putting out, then it goes to bad weight gain that doesn't work in your favor. Hydrating, the mindset, so having the preparation to get your stuff ready, so you're doing, and then recovering. And that all helps with that daily rituals. So mindset, making the switch from healthy eating to performance fueling. So just like you put good fuel in a high performance car, you want to put good fuel in your high performance body. And if you put bad fuel in your car, then you get bad performance. If you put bad performance fueling in your body, you get bad performance. So eat clean, high fiber carbs, brown and close to the ground is a good little quote. So if anything's brown and close to the ground from a carbohydrate standpoint, then that's good. Lean protein, the less legs, the better. So fish, chicken, poultry, that kind of stuff. Fats are a good thing. Over the years, they've been said to be bad, but you want to make sure, A, it's a good fat, and again, it's the consumption of that. So walnuts, salmon, tuna, flaxseed, and then 3 colors with every meal. Try and make your meals as colorful as possible with fruits, vegetables, and things like that, and you're getting all the good vitamins and minerals that are in there. Eat often, daily rituals. Kick off with a good breakfast. And anytime you can kind of get moving around that just gets your system pumping and moving and gets your metabolism working. So eat high fiber, clean carbs, lean proteins, healthy fats. Eating 3 hours for stable energy, so pack snacks for schools and after practice so you don't get those cravings or those really big lows where you make poor choices and eat gummy bears and licorice and all these other things just to fill a craving. Is there a question?
Sorry. No, sorry.
Okay. Hydration. So daily intake of water, 1/2 to 1 ounce per body weight, pound of body weight of water. You want to try and drink daily, so it's kind of make it a habit, you know, carry a water bottle around with you. Always just think about refilling it up and drinking it. To that hydration is key to keep your fluids up and keep things moving around. When you're active, taking in about 30 grams of carbohydrates per 1 hour. Just to keep your blood sugar levels at appropriate so you don't crash from all that activity. And, you know, being out in the cold on the hill skiing all day, it's always good to have some snacks in your pocket because you're burning a little more energy than you would otherwise just trying to manage the temperatures around the skiing. And recovering. So this is one thing that a lot of people don't realize is the recover side of nutrition and the post-training strategy. So post-exercise, your body is dehydrated, low blood sugar, your immune system is depressed, you have depleted fuel stores, muscle in the breakdown state, stress and breakdown hormones are elevated. So one way to fix that is recovering, and you have this kind of window to maximize that recovery. And so in this green, if you get something into your system right away, then you have the biggest potential to maximize your recovery through nutrition. The longer you wait to get something into your system, then the more diminished the return on the investment is. So making sure you're hydrating and getting something just to replace that muscle glycogen. And from some options is kind of a 3-to-1 carbohydrate protein kind of scenario. So there's different things like a good old chocolate milk, organic chocolate milk is a great combination of carbohydrate to protein. If you don't have chocolate milk and there's other supplements, you can kind of look at the label to combine that to get what you need, and then have that as your post-recovery scenarios. So question, what are some good snacks for, let me see if I can get to that. What are some good snacks for skiing, that, and then it cut out. So some good snacks for skiing. Anything with this carbohydrate protein. So trail mixes are good because they got a little protein in the nuts. They got some chocolate and carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates. Having the chocolate milk handy, I know it can be a little messy, but those are all good scenarios. And at the end of the day, too, I'm not a nutritionist, so you know, working with a local nutritionist would be a great way to come up with some good strategies and meal options for that. But being prepared is the key there, and having those snacks handy or having them in your pocket ready to go. So that was nutrition. Every day is race day. Train for it. So this is kind of more related around the off season and what you should be doing outside of skiing and what you can be doing also while the ski season is going. And these individual corrective solutions, so self-soft tissue using foam rollers, tennis balls, whatever the case may be, just to keep your tissues healthy instead of, if you don't have the ability to go get massage all the time, then you can do it with a foam roller and just getting used to rolling out on that, breaking up all the tissue and the scar tissue from training. Mobility and flexibility. Mobility is key for ski racing. You want to have a mobile body. At the same time, you want to be able to control that mobility and have stability to go with it. If your body is too tight, then you won't be able to get your body into the positions you need to have aggressive angles in your skiing. And so that mobility is super key. Activation and strengthening, this is kind of just having your system turned on, ready to go. Gone are the days of static stretching before exercise. It's more a dynamic mobility stretching to warm your body, to prepare yourself to get ready for the activity at hand. If you do kind of prolonged static stretching, then that actually mellows you out and it doesn't prepare you for the active activity of, or explosive activity of ski racing. So doing some individual corrective solutions is always a good thing. What are the things that you need to do to make yourself better, make your body feel better? Then there's pillar prep. These are, so we like to think of our shoulders, stomach, and hips. That's our pillar. So it's not necessarily just about the core. It's a combination of all three of those pieces and how you transfer energy there. So having good hip mobility and flexibility is key. If you don't have that, then the stress goes to your low back or it goes to your knees. So if you don't have good hip strength, mobility, and flexibility, your knees and your back are the next two things to take that stress, which then leads to injury. Glutes are key in the appropriate use of your glutes. They are the powerhouse and brake of your body. So this is also the key component in ACL injury prevention, is having a very strong glute. So that's key. And then pillar, hips and torso, and just doing some stability activities. And we'll in the My Coach presentation, you'll see the exercises. They're kind of all in there of great exercises you can do for mobility and stability, and these are just some photos of some of those activities that we can get to. Movement prep, so this is like a dynamic yoga flexibility. So this is what I talk about, not just doing static stretching, but movement to get yourself going. And again, the My Coach solution will have a lot of these things in there. So, and I'll walk you through all that. So it increases your core temperature, elongates your muscles, turns on your nervous system, so your proprioceptive system is ready to take on fast dynamic activity. And then it also gives you an opportunity to work on movement patterns and coordination to continue to take the stress off your nervous system. Plyometrics are a key component to any training program. What this does is it helps translate strength into power. And so it's your ability to appreciate the distance of the ground and react to that feeling. And for that explode of how to absorb force and then produce force. And funny enough, even though it's, has this term explosive around it, it is key to injury prevention. And it's also important, if you're doing any kind of plyometrics, to be progressive. And it's all about quality first, quantity second. So quality is always the driving force. If you're doing a bunch of quantity, but the quality is junk, then you're just beating up your body and it's not worth it. So you're better off to do, 1 rep of, or 10 reps of one of good quality than one set of 10 reps of junk quality. Movement skills, this is different kind of coordination activities. So different agility work, speed ladder, cone drills, all kinds of different stuff. Again, there'll be stuff in the My Coach product that you'll see that have all these things in there. But they're a key component because your nervous system is a key part of how you do these things. And so if your nervous system is more efficient at moving properly, then you're going to move with less effort. And there was a question that just popped up, should you do all these all at once? And these are all training components that should fit in your training program in a session. So it may seem like it's a lot of activity, and it's really about doing a couple minutes of each thing. And something like plyometrics and movement skills is something that you'd only do 2 days a week, where a strengthening program is something you could do 4 days a week. And again, with the My Coach product, all that's laid out. You say, hey, I want to work out twice a week, or I want to work out 3 times a week, or 4 times a week, and the program automatically adjusts, and the dosage of the exercises automatically adjusts. So you can say, I want to work out 3 times a week, and I have 30 minutes, and then it'll provide you a program that meets those requirements that still fit in these training components. So strengthening, this is your bread and butter, is lifting weights. And it's very important to be able to lift your body weight first before you start adding external resistance. If you have poor movement quality and you're adding weight to that, then you're just strengthening poor movement quality. So it's first very important to be able to strengthen or be able to move with just your body with no external resistance. Then you could start working on these basic movement patterns with external resistance and building up the strength. And there's different ways to look at it. We like to think in movement patterns, not bodybuilding. So we look at like an upper body push, lower body push. Here's another upper body push, another lower body push, and there's upper body pulling and lower body pulling. And so that way, those are kind of the 4 main movement patterns that your body will do and that you want to try and strengthen. And so if you're working with a training person, these are some things that you can ask about to see if they put this into their programming. Energy system development is conditioning. So this is your aerobic and anaerobic systems. So this is your endurance and your start-stop and the energy systems it takes to provide you the fuel to do these necessary activities. And so the interval-based is definitely the way to go, more high-intensity interval-type training. And you don't want to do that every day. So we kind of break it up into 2 hard days a week, 2 medium days a week, and 2 easy days a week. And on the easier days, you can just kind of get on a bike and go for a bike ride and kind of unload your body, where the other days you can do something a little more interval-based and active. So got a question, is it true that children under 16 should not lift weights? That's totally false. Children under 16 can certainly lift weights. They're lifting weights at 10 when they pick up a heavy backpack full of books. So it's funny how when we look in the context of weights that we don't see inanimate objects, these things that we do in our day-to-day, like backpacks full of books or different things that kids are picking up, yard work, all that as weights. The same rule applies. Is first you need to move your body and control your body well, then you can start adding external resistance, whatever that resistance is, whether it's a backpack, a weight vest, doesn't matter. You want to make sure that the movement pattern is good quality, then you can start adding external resistance. And so some kids, it might take longer to develop that pattern, and therefore they shouldn't add external resistance until they can get that pattern. But what you'll find is a lot of kids cannot, even over the age of 16, that are lifting weights, shouldn't be, because they can't even move well with just their body. Good question. So that's the strength stuff, and you'll see that in the My Coach, because that's the biggest piece is, you know, what do you do, when, where, how, and the whole prescription, and that's, you know, a whole education course. So the fourth piece on recovery, every day is rest day, rest for it. And so work plus rest equals success. So it's not only all about all the hard work, but it's the rest you get, because it's really, that's when your body gets better. Work breaks your body down, but it's when you rest that your body replenishes itself and makes it better and takes it up to a new level. And there's different types of rest. There's, you know, kind of active rest, which is these kind of activities where you're just pedaling on a bike. It's low impact, it's easy, it's not stressful. That would be an active recovery. Self-soft tissue and stretching to help improve that. And it just, again, it's like tuning your skis for the next day, so when you're ready to go, your body's ready to go and able to tolerate the system. But if you never tune your skis and you just, you know, ski on the same skis every day and don't wax them and don't wax them, don't tune them, the edges get dull and the skis get slow, and then that impacts your performance. And the same thing happens with your body. If you're just going, and you're not taking the time to tune your body and let it recover, then you're just going to get slower. You're not going to get fast and explosive. And scheduling your systems together. So this is just a kind of a game plan of kind of that perfect day. And this, you know, would vary depending on what you're trying to do, but it's just trying to look at each kind of day that you're going to come across and plan in what you're going to do on what day, and get that game plan in order, so that when it's time, it's like a recipe card. You say, oh, it's the day before the race, this is what I'm going to do, or this is the day of the race, this is what I'm going to do, and it's all laid out. You get your things, you pack your bag, and I'm sure some of you have this, the checklist at the front door, so you don't forget your gloves, your ski boots, your skis, and all your gear. You kind of got that checklist to go through. It's the same checklist, just around your body, fueling it, training for it, resting for it, and getting prepared. So this is our kind of how it all fits together. Every day is race day. You want to prepare for it, so you got to be organized. You want to fuel for it, you got to eat for it, train for it, and rest for it. So those are the key things in a nutshell that will give you the opportunity to operate on a high level. And really, if you're not doing these 4 things well, and adding anything on top of this is not going to maximize your potential. It just actually ends up adding more stress to making something happen. So this is like you're eating your fruits and vegetables every day, is if you can focus on these 4 components when it comes to training and preparing yourself, then you're going to be 80–90% of the way there. System accountability and evolution. So this is just the importance. I'm going to run through this. Just the evaluation of what you're doing. So are those pieces, are they happening, the mindset, nutrition, movement, recovery? Because it's not easy to implement all these things at one time. So pick one thing and get good at it, work at it, be consistent at it, and then you can add another layer and another layer. Don't feel like it all has to happen in one day, because it is the development in the athletic process. So just, take time to reflect. Am I doing the things I should be doing? If I'm not, why? Am I not making the right choices? Is it because I'm not going to bed early the night before, so then I'm tired when I wake up, and then I don't wake up early enough to prepare these things? Is my motivation not there? Whatever the case may be. But you want to kind of always be reassessing your game plan to how to make things work more efficiently for you. I have the evaluation stuff on here because this is just if you're working with outside trainers or outside gyms in your area. This is just kind of what you should expect for them to do if they're serious about getting you better as an athlete. Are they doing some, evaluation to say, hey, here's our level of what we're doing, and then moving you forward from there. And then always looking back at that to see what's going on. These are just some daily monitoring, things you can think of, like your rate of perceived exertion. If you feel like you've had a lot of heavy days in a row, then you may want to take a day off. If your muscle soreness is consistently there, you may want to take a day off. If your sleep quality and quantity is suffering, you may be a sign that you need to take a day off. If you're not eating well, if your technical rating and tactical self-rating, if you feel like, your coach is saying, gosh, through Christmas camp, the quality of the training is getting worse and worse and worse, it's probably because you're getting fatigued and you need to take a day off, recuperate. So it's not necessarily how many days you can make in a row, it's the quality of those days that you want to do it. So it's maybe sometimes better to ski a little less and then work on the recovery process so you can ski more frequently. So supporting your system, technology, and resources. So this is some of the MyCoach stuff. This is what I'm going to take you through right here, and some of the, it's got a handheld scenario. So there's a lot of avenues out there that you can use when it comes to technology to help you along. There's also our website, Core Performance, and it doesn't always have to be technology. There's the little kiddie pool and the garbage can that you can use to jump in an ice bath. You don't necessarily need a nice spa to take a cold plunge to recuperate. And then here's some websites for more future references. So I'm going to take you to this mycoach.com website, Athletes Performance, if you're ever interested in going to train there, to kind of train at the level they start training athletes at 11 years old. Minimum 1 week to start, but if you chat with me and you're interested in going, we can help set that up to whatever the facility that you're interested in going to, and then also I can maybe help with some cost reduction in that. Core Performance is another website that we manage, run, and provide content to. It's a lot of it's free, and so that's got a lot of great nutrition recipes, training tips, blog content, things like that. If you do need training equipment, you want to set up a little gym at home, let me know and I can help you organize that kind of stuff also, with hopefully some discounts around it. So let's see, I think that was it for the presentation. I'm going to go to some of these questions here and see. So I think Raven had one right at the beginning. What is a good sport to train for skiing? I think he was asking. So, gosh, cross-training, any sport is good. I think soccer is fit really well because it's an interval-based sport. There's a lot of start-stop, explosive movement, foot-eye coordination, which you see in ski racing. Cycling is a good one, mountain biking, just from the cardiovascular and leg strengthening scenario. I think lacrosse would probably fit in along soccer, would be some good, cross-training sports that you could do for skiing. If you're into weightlifting, obviously, or Olympic lifting, that would also be good for that. I think we went through the snacks. Good stretches for all these. We're going to go through that on the My Coach. That has all that. We'd be there all day if I took you through all that. Should we do all these at once? No, you want that built-up program, and again, My Coach can help with that. We talked about, is it true that children under 16 should not lift weights? Yes, they can lift weights. It's just making sure that the movement quality is there before they add external resistance. And is this video going to be posted on YouTube? No, it is not. It's going to be posted on the Northstar Ski Team website, so you can access it there for if you want to rewatch it. All right, so I'm going to get out of this presentation, and we're going to go to the My Coach website. And this is it. So it's just www.mycoach.com or mycoach.adidas.com. It's free, so 100% free. I'm going to see if there's some products here. So here's some of the gear. The one thing you want if you have a smartphone is you can download the My Coach app, either iPhone or Android, and download that, and you can get the strength and flex programs that we're going to go on your computer, or sorry, on your phone, and you can take that to the gym. Also works on an iPad. So if your iPad rather than that, and then it's got videos of all the exercises, the program, how to do the exercises, everything. So I'm just going to log in here.
Is the app free?
The app is free. It's all free. I tried to find the best free thing, so money was not a limiting factor for anybody. If you want to use the heart rate product, then that would be something you would need to buy, which you can order online. Any Bluetooth heart rate monitor will work with the new, if you have an iPhone 5 and the new Android app, any kind of Bluetooth technology will work. So here's a, when you get in, you sign up, here's a list of the products. This is the mobile, My Coach mobile app. So you can go on there, you can download it. Like I said, it's all free. There's some different products that go with it, the heart rate monitor, the speed cell. You don't need that for it to work. You can use the phone as GPS services, so if you want to go out on a running program, the phone will keep track of how fast you're running. If you do want to be coached by heart rate, then you would need a heart rate monitor. And you just need one that's Bluetooth compatible for an iPhone 5 or better. If you have an iPhone 4, any variation, then you need the heart rate monitor and the Connect dongle. But if you have a newer Android that has the Bluetooth low energy technology, then you can use any Bluetooth heart rate monitor. So back to the products, so that's the main piece there. So then when we go into plans, there's these training plans. And you can go in and you can just do a get started plan. There's men's training, women's training. You can go into specific sports. There's not a ski racing sport, so one that I would recommend because strength is key would be doing like a football or rugby based, regardless if you're a boy or girl. Because this is where strength is the premium, and skiing, that's key. So, and I would actually go with either, this is soccer, so you could do that, or American football or Aussie rules football. So I'm going to go into the American football one. And so there's cardio plans. So those are the ESD I was talking about, the cardio conditioning plans. And if you click on that, you can sign up for different levels of plans based on where you think you're at. And then it'll put it into your calendar. And then once you sync your phone with your program, then those plans will be on your phone. All right. So that's good. I'm just going to go back because we're going to go to the weight programs, and I see some questions coming through. And then here's the strength and flexibility programs, and these are about 4-week programs. So there's Get Strong, Get Fast, Get In-Season Training, So those are the ones there. So Get Strong, if we click on that, there's phase 1, and each phase is about 3 to 4 weeks. Build muscle, maximize strength. And build muscle doesn't mean you're going to get big and bulky like a bodybuilder. It's just that you're building lean body mass, which is what you need to be strong. So if you pick on one of those, then you get this plan. It's a 12 workouts, 4 per week, 3 weeks, and then you can pick which days you want to do them and start them, what day you want to put them on, and then apply that plan, and that'll go into your calendar. And then you can see it's got some pillar prep, movement prep, plyometrics, med ball, and strength and power. So that just all fits in. Now I'm going to go, trying to see if we can demo. I'm just going to put one of these in. I'm going to apply this plan. Proceed. I currently have the plan in there, but I'm going to override it. So now I'm in the manage portion of that, and it's just loading up my calendar. So these are all my workouts, so they're put into my program, and you can pick which days you want to do what. So if I go to this first workout and open that up, now it's going to show me what's in here: pillar prep, movement prep, plyos, what equipment I might need that you'd find at any kind of local gym, and there's programs like no equipment programs and so forth, different workout details, and then I can go in and look at pillar prep, and here's the different exercises that are there, and I can click on the video, and the video, this little box is in the way for some reason. And it basically gives you the coaching notes, and then it gives you a video of that exercise that you can do. And then if you use a smartphone, that's all on the phone as well. So you get all this stuff on the phone. So let me close out of that and see if I can what happened here. Switch screens and come back to manage. So say if I did plyometrics, so these are different drop squat off a box, linear counter movement jumps, and again, if we want to see the video and watch what it is, it'll come up, and that's all you do. And it'll tell you how many sets and reps to do it and repeat it, and that all comes out on your handy phone. So you can do that, take it to the gym, do it in your living room, whatever the case may be. And you can go and preview all these. That's just a jump and hold. Let's see. So those are some medial. So we can watch the medial box jump. So it's just jumping to the side, stick and hold. So you're going to see these are very progressive. They start out very basic, so you get that platform of mobility, stability with all those pieces. If we go to some strength and power exercises, so here's a bench press, one-arm dumbbell. So it's just holding up, and that dumbbell is going to create a counter rotation in your torso that you have to stabilize against. And then 2, you can put in there, it'll ask you questions about how much weight can you lift and so forth, and you can put in that weight, and it'll start to help prescribe and recommend the appropriate weight and help you get smarter. And then you can just go through. You'll see there's some mobility pieces here, some strength pieces, more mobility pieces, so that's to get you moving. And then the 8 reps, how much weight based on recommendations that they ask you to fill in. Here's some more stability style circuits, so with the physio ball. So it's a pretty complete program. Let's see, there was a couple more questions. Would running be good cross-training for sport? So endurance running is not great for ski racing because endurance, you're going long and slow, and skiing is about explosive and speed. So if you were to do interval running like hill sprints, regular sprints, repeated sprints, but I wouldn't recommend doing endurance-based running for ski racing or skiing. They're kind of counterproductive. And it says cross-training sports, swimming. Swimming is a great active recovery sport, just to get in the pool and unload your body to do something different. But again, swimming is not going to give you the fundamental. You kind of think about swimming as not a ground-based activity. And that ground-based activity is what gives you density in your bones. Kind of like the guys that go to the moon. If they spend a lot of time at the moon, all their muscles deteriorate and their calcium in their bones get weaker and weaker because it's the stimulation of weight and gravity that gives you density in your bones and gives you strength and tension in your muscles. And so for skiing, you want to recreate that through the plyometrics, through weightlifting, and moving your body. So it's a good recovery activity, not a great direct cross-training for ski racing. Cool. And so that calendar comes up, and when it's your workout that day, you go and it walks you right through your workout. You have the video to show you the video, and then when you're done the program, you hit I'm done, and then it'll keep track of your start time, total time, how much weight you lifted, and it'll walk you through that progressively as you go through. And so that's the strength program in the calendar. And you can put in single workouts. There's also one thing we didn't go is the cardio plan. So if you do want to use running, so say again, American football is very interval based. So that would be kind of another one. Soccer would be good that you could use. And you could pick, say if you're in pretty good shape, we could pick this one. And then next step, you personalize it, and it'll tell you the zones. So what days do you want to run, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 days a week, whatever the case may be. And you hit next step and complete, proceed. That goes into your program, onto your calendar, and then you have your cardio program. And so here you can see now I have some strength programs and I have some cardio programs. And so if I go to this American football cardio program, it's saying I'm going to start out low, then I'm going to speed up in this green zone. And if you have your Android phone, you can look at yourself by speed, and it'll tell you if you're in the right zone or not based on how fast you are. And there's a little test you can do on a treadmill or going out for a run. And it'll give you the appropriate zones. And then you come up to the yellow zone, then back down to the green, back up. So you see this interval type. And then it'll track that and say, hey, how well did you complete that? And that would be for 28 minutes. And then there's harder interval-based programs like something like this, which is you're in your green zone, which is a lower zone. You go to your red zone for 10 seconds, sprint as high as you can, and then you go and relax for 30 seconds. Sprint as hard as you can for 10, back down for 30. Sprint for 10, back down for 30. So, and again, that's all on your phone. Go ahead, question?
Are the zones for heart rate or for speed?
Both. You can pick. So you have the option to pick by heart rate or by speed, your choice. And so there's a setting. Yeah, there's a setting in the software on the phone that you can pick that, and it'll talk to you. So you can play your music on your phone, and it'll say speed up to yellow zone for 30 seconds. And then if you're not in your yellow zone, it'll tell you you're not in your yellow zone. You need to be in your yellow zone. And so it'll encourage you to be in the appropriate zone given the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can track all that information, your latest workouts, achievements, any history journal that you want to keep about your training. There's blogs about training. So if you go to the blog, there's different recipes of the week on good nutritional recipes. There's movements of the week. You're going to see the 4 phases of different training. So you can search the blog for various training tips and so forth. So that's very helpful. Let's see what else is at the top. There's a forum for asking questions, and then this is more of a coaching circles. If you're being coached by somebody, then you would use this piece. But that's my coach in a nutshell. Like I said, you can download a free app for Android, iPhone app, and then you're portable with it. You can go to the gym with it. You can go to the beach with it. You can go wherever and get your workout done, track it, and it gives you a good regimented program that you can follow through and execute on if you don't have somebody that you can train with all the time. Cool. That's what I had to show you guys today. Any last-minute questions around that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see if there's any. Yeah, you betcha.
Where's it?
Go ahead.
Where is it going to be exactly on the Northstar site?
Tanya, yeah. Tanya, are you still on? Do you know the URL for the website?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where on the website we're going to place it yet, but when we put it up, we'll send an email out to all of you guys with the link so that you can have it.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Cool, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone's time and effort for getting on there, trying to be better, and yeah, good job, and I'll look forward to seeing everybody in the fall fit and ready to rock and roll.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.